Pam Helms. The name of my story is the Colorado River. We had had 5 wonderful days on the river, but this particular day I was scared to death. Here's the scene. We were 18 outdoorsy, fun-loving, adventuresome, most of us not so very young anymore, women, and Debbie, our guide. For 8 days, we were boating down the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon, running thrilling rapids, hiking side canyons, and camping by the river at night. Included in the group were my sister Susie, my daughter Susan, and me. Now, if you've ever been to the Grand Canyon, you know it is a totally magical place with breathtakingly beautiful, colorful, high canyon walls that reach up to the plateaus above, interspersed with side canyons that drain the rainwater from the plateaus above, sometimes in sudden flash floods. On the 5th day, we started on a short hike in the afternoon. We climbed from the river up a steep path, walked along a ridge for a short distance, and then down another path into an ankle-deep creek. Carelessly failing to notice that what had been a cloudy day was suddenly turning dramatically darker, we splashed along merrily in the creek, following Debbie up a side canyon that was about this wide. After about 40 yards, think half a football field, we reached an 8-foot-high rock that stretched from one side of the canyon all the way to the other side of the canyon. Debbie said, we're going to climb this rock because at the top there's a beautiful waterfall that comes all the way from the rim of the Grand Canyon. It's fun to sit there just enjoying the mist from the waterfall on your face and a time of quiet and contemplation. Serenity sounded like to me. With that, Debbie was up the wall in a flash, practiced and strong as she was, but she made it look a lot easier than it really was. It was slow going, one by one, for each of the rest of us. Susie, Susan, and I were the last ones up, and while it had been sprinkling a little while the others were going up the rock, it was raining by the time we were going up, and by the time we got to the top, it was raining hard. It looked to me as though there was going to be no serenity that day. All of a sudden, Debbie screamed at the top of her voice, "This is so dangerous! This rain is bad, bad, bad! We've got to get out of this canyon fast!" And with that, she was over the wall in a flash, standing at the bottom, screaming, "Hurry, hurry, hurry! We've got to get out of this canyon! This water is so dangerous!" Everybody was doing the best they could, but it was very slow going down, and she was screaming, "Hurry, hurry, hurry!" And since Susan, Susie, and I were the last ones up, it was clear we were going to be the last ones down, and already we could see more water coming over the waterfall and more water coming across the rock, and we looked at the first women down, running down the creek, and what had been ankle-deep water was now all the way up to their knees. The water was rising so quickly. Finally, it was our turn to go down over the wall. I almost pushed Susan. And when she got to the bottom, I was screaming, "Run, run, run," for deep in my soul, I knew I was screaming to her to run literally for her life. Susie and I struggled down and noticed that Susan was running through water all the way mid-thigh. It was rising so quickly. Susie and I finally got down, and literally by the time we got down, the water was up to our waists. It was going so fast, it was a struggle to stand up. I looked up and noticed that Susan went around the end of the canyon, and I knew she would get to safety. Susie and I were struggling so hard. Finally, we got around the end of the canyon, and there was Susan standing at the edge of the rapidly rising water with stark terror written all over her face. She reached out, we reached up, she pulled, we climbed, and we turned to look at the opening to the canyon, and a 20-foot-high wall of muddy water came surging out of that canyon, crashing down through the riverbed and spreading into a giant plume of muddy water into the Colorado River. Susie, Susan, and I collapsed, trembling and crying in each other's arms. And that was the day I had been scared to death. Thank you.